Stu's channel.
This is the section we're working on now. This is the motor cover. There she is, begging for a motor. All right, now this one here, it's going to be almost impossible for me to film this. These have to go into the mounts. They are right there, but you only have to screw them in a little bit. 9/64 hex wrench. 9/64. Some people don't own a 9/64. Luckily, I mean really, I was starting to go through my stuff, and luckily I have this whole pack, so I had to go through and find this thing. But right at this point, all they want you to do is to simply get them kind of into position, because you're going to be putting the wing on here after you mount some supports, and it's going to be no fun trying to get these in after the fact. I'm going to install these and then go on to the next step. All right, next step that I'm going to prepare a little bit ahead of time is to take one of these self-tappers and start it inside the hole that's on either side. I know you can't see the other side, but it's a limited angle. There's a hole down inside of here. There's no way for me to show it to you, but this is on the fuselage. On either side, near the wing, there's these two holes. You got to start these self-tappers. I'm just going to go ahead and start that. Huh, that's what we're looking for. All right, Heidi ho. All right, flat, beveled, they're beveled. Actually, if I put a flat side on and move it around, you might be able to see it. Flat side, beveled side. We have to figure out how far this goes in. Since the flat wide end, that plugs into the plane. So what we're gonna do, the flat end is the top of the joiner. Slide it in all the way until it stops. No need to force it any farther. Piece of tape. That's my marker. That's what I have to sand, is that end. Roughen it up. You get the deal. Cleaning up the dust, the grime, etc. There's that. Let that dry for just a second, and then we glue it into the wing. And there it is. Hey look, it's already cut is what it looks like. I don't think that's the correct cut for what we're doing. I think that's where we're going to make an attachment, but we're going to have to make a cut into this thing. So there's the thrust tube. Since that's out, look at this beautiful jet. God, it is absolutely gorgeous. Okay, I've got some pieces of foam in here. Obviously, these have got to come out. They've actually put a little note in here. These foam inserts have been installed during production for packaging and shipment. They should be removed before assembling the aircraft. Why, thank you, sir. It's so kind of you to let me know all that. And that is the only set of inserts. It's two of them, which is cool. Wow. 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 Awesomeness. It's the objective here. Mix up epoxy, get it on here. Have your alcohol nearby to clean up any messes that take place, because I really don't want this stuff all over the place. Also, it's a great idea when you're working on this to occasionally wash your hands. Get the stuff off of your hands. Dirt, oils, whatever the case may be, wash them up. I have 30 minutes to mess with this epoxy. Earlier, I had some epoxy that was a little older, and you notice that I had a piece come off. Well, I went and I got new epoxy, and I finished the mission because I didn't trust that epoxy. So the other side was done with some good new stuff, and the old stuff got tossed. So here we are, we're at the point where I've got to put this thing inside the wing. I do have a brush. I have a brush. I could easily brush this on, no problem, but I'm going to use the toothpick. Nothing wrong with using the toothpick. I'm going to have a nice coat of this stuff on here. It will be just fine. Oh, it really wants to stick to that carbon fiber for sure. It really does. It wants to go on there. So I'm going to stick this on, and of course I've got my alcohol standing by. I'm not going to put an absolute ton on here, but I'm absolutely going to get it. It will be coated. Flat side, top of the joiner. Get that bubble, little blob on the end there off. Sliding it in. Wait, almost did that backwards. Almost. Top of the joiner, flat. Pressing it in until it stops. Getting the alcohol on there. And getting that stuff cleaned up on the sides. Making sure I don't get any on the top of the wing. Trying not to, but the alcohol, even if I were to get it on the top, would take it off. Nice and easy. So while this is setting up, what takes place is I've got to put these through the wing, or excuse me, I've got to put these into the fuselage to line this all up. Mount this up and then tighten the screws on both the tops, the two tops that I put together, and the two inside screws, and then tape this to the wing. We're going to go there next. And here we are. Wires have to go in, obviously. And into the other side. I'm going to slide this in ever so gently. I know that there is absolutely no epoxy, none, zero, nada on the front of this, because I don't want to weld this wing onto here. So I've really cleaned that up. Right now I'm gently pushing it in. Gently. Okay, this might be screwed in a little too much. We're going to check. Okay. Starting to move.
And since we can't wrap everything up in one video, join me next time when I complete the build of this beautiful Habu 32X DF jet. We'll see you then on Stu's channel.